Welcome back to tonight's sad reality, where it's almost 3 in the morning and I've got 4 hours to go sleep, or make a video, then go sleep, then wake up, and then go right back to work. But today I did have off, so I did catch up on my sleep a little bit. I had 2 doctor's appointments, which were fun, and by fun I mean, that is. And otherwise it was a pretty just chill day. I'm happy about that. But what am I going to talk about tonight? Honestly, positioning, kind of like how you've got these characters you gotta move around and do stuff with them. That's... English is phenomenal. Uh, so in life, what I find kind of interesting is that there's a few different ways to go about things, kind of like chess, you know? The first idea just being that positioning is kind of important, and that it doesn't matter where you are in the early game, is, you'll need to know where you're going to be in the late game eventually. Need Arbalest, Energy Source. Getting these going. Point being, this game has synergies, and the interesting part about that is, also we need 3 synergies on Necromancer, 2 Crusaders on field, Crusader. Because each character has synergies, and they power up everything else or themselves, so you have to find a good balance of that, especially when you get into the later waves, and different characters are buffed or debuffed depending on their style. So you've got melee, ranged, and magic, I think. So later in the game there might be like a 99% damage boost to melee and a minus 99% damage reduction to magic or whatever. So where's my Necromancer? Necromancer boy. Like, I'm guessing I went past it like 8 million times. That would be fun looking back at these videos, which I probably won't do myself, but we'll see. Perhaps one day I will check back and see the low quality of these. I didn't mean to record this one at 3 in the morning, I just got really tired, kind of fell asleep at like 10 p.m. Nap then, I guess. And then got back up. Here we are. Oh, there it is, that's the Necromancer. I already placed Necromancer as well. Wait, that's Crusader that I needed. 2 Crusaders. See, my ability to pay attention right now is peak, and that's how I've slept well, and I am in a good condition. Any synergies I can get easily. Sniper, Warden, Warlord, Captain. Warden, Captain. Sniper. And Warlord. Also made rid of him for now. Yeah, so we're just knocking out weeklies right now. Crusader on the field, should have 2 of them. 1 Crusader, 2 Crusaders, Arbalest, Necromancer, Hunter. The rest I'll figure out eventually. That was a lot of sound effects at once, jeez. Anyways, time to actually talk for a bit. Now the game's playing and I don't really have to pay too much attention. Also, I'm going to turn off that sound effect because that is going to bother me a lot. Anyways, so there's a few ways to position yourself, right? A lot of that just means like getting stuff done when you have free time, and then when you don't have free time, making that time kind of count. Also, like, rarely have the background music on in this game, so I find this kind of funny to me for some reason. So like today, for example, I went and got a haircut, even though it's not like I really needed one like super desperately. Usually I do one like every month or 2, pretty rarely. And that's just because I'm lazy, and also, like, obviously it costs money, so if you just don't want to pay money, you just don't get a haircut, you know? So I did that because I've got something kind of important coming up at work tomorrow, which, I guess the irony of the whole good positioning thing here is I'm gonna get like 4 hours of sleep tonight, so that'll be pretty peak tomorrow. But then I'll come home and probably take a nap after that, and then I say that, but then my friends would be online and be like, hey, you want to do something? And that's always how life is. You gotta make time for the times when you need it. Also, we're just skipping through waves here, so that's fun, I guess. Riveting gameplay. Anyways, as far as all that goes, there's a few different ways to go about those things, obviously. Like today I had an eye appointment and an orthodontist appointment. The eye appointment I thought was a dentist appointment, I had that in my head just completely wrong from what, over a week ago, I think. I thought it was a dentist appointment because we kept talking about that. But no, it was an orthodontist appointment and an eye appointment. I still need to schedule a dentist appointment, even though my teeth are in pretty good condition. Got x-rays done today at the orthodontist because my mouth, the top of my mouth looks like an omega almost. I've got, I think it's my wisdom teeth hanging off at the side, basically. It's almost like 2 rows of teeth. And it's one of those things where they're just like, we don't really know what to do with it. And I'm like, okay, well that's good, you're the doctor. And speaking of, it's kind of funny earlier today. Straight up, the doctor was like, oh, those are 12 molars or your wisdom teeth up top? And I'm like, you're the doctor, shouldn't you know that? Like, don't you go to medical school for like 3 years to figure that stuff out? Maybe I'm a little bit, you know, maybe my expectations were too high, but I was like, isn't that a little bit mildly concerning? And in all fairness, it turns out I think the notes were not put in correctly from a few years ago, because I had my wisdom teeth taken out like 2-3 years ago, I think, so it'd been a minute. And that I actually had 2 of my 12 molars taken out and 2 wisdom teeth, so tons of fun. And today they were like, yeah, we're probably gonna pull another tooth because shifting stuff back into alignment. And I'm like, I'm not looking forward to that. But maybe it will happen, maybe it won't happen. It's not like it's in dire need or anything, it's literally just like perfectionism. I don't know. To me, I've never really understood it. I'm not opposed to it because guess what? I'm not paying for it and it's not on my insurance. But, like, my understanding of it is later in life, sometimes people have nutritional deficiencies and, like, you want to be prepared earlier in life so that you don't, like, your mouth is in good condition so that you can eat and, like, don't basically starve to death. So talk about good positioning in that sense as far as, like, life goes, you know. The pain now, make it worthwhile later or something. And even if it's not, at least we're trying to fix something in advance, you know. It's always funny because it's like, extreme example here. You could go fill up your car at a gas station just because you need like more gas and you don't want to do that later because if you're running low on time, it's like, oh hey, get that out of the way. But that gas station could also explode while you're there and then you could die and that would be kind of moot point. Let's just hope that doesn't happen, you know? Let's hope it's a normal thing. So I was watching a video earlier today of a guy, sort of meme, falling into like the Minecraft temple with the pressure plate on it. Like his dog falls down on the pressure plate afterwards. He manages to defuse it with a bucket of water. That creeper falls in afterwards, explodes the thing anyways. There's a massive cave underneath it with lava. Manages to like water bucket save himself. And then gets struck by lightning at the very end. So, it's kind of like you can't control stuff like that. Although, obviously, I'm like 90% sure stuff like that was set up. But it's a fun thought experiment, I guess. That's all to say that most of the time it is worth doing stuff in advance, especially if you can, you know? Like, hey, maybe I should record some of these videos so that they're higher quality. Although I do actually have tomorrow night prepared because I did play some Dungeon Defenders tonight with that guy who finally didn't flake. I had to like scream at him. I actually almost bet $20 that he wasn't going to show up. And I didn't just because I was like, if I'm going to bet against him, then I shouldn't be messaging him to get on. So, genius move here, I guess. Yeah, so positioning yourself for tomorrow or the next day or whatever you have going on in life, whether it's getting a haircut, getting your eyes checked, everything else, it adds up. And I don't know, I guess it's like the whole thing where adults are like, take care of yourself because you don't want to have problems later that exacerbate the problems you have now. Because if you didn't have problems now, then I don't know, it feels like everyone's kind of in this boat. There's always something going on. I feel like at the same time too, it's like men, we just get desensitized to some things and don't really care too much. Anyway, I think I'm just gonna pretty much wrap it up for tonight. Obviously the gameplay is riveting. I actually haven't touched my keyboard or mouse in I think the past 5 minutes, probably 8 minutes at this point. So thanks for watching. I'm not gonna drag out the outro this time. Have a great rest of your night, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Have a good one, y'all.